Thanks for staying with us. Still talking around age. So the NCC had released a statement that disqualifies Nigerians below the age of 18 from getting their SIM. And this comes at a time where lots of people have been getting SIMs for their youngsters. But they're saying that you have to be an adult to be able to get a SIM. What are your thoughts on this? I know we're discussing age earlier, and I know we're still talking about how you said something about people also when they die and they just slide their names in there. So these are issues that we can actually discuss. So what are your thoughts on what NCC is saying these days?
I think NCC should merge their policies for clarity. So the NIN is not an age-bound registration. So why should the SIM registration be age-bound? The person who owns a SIM is a human being. And
yeah, but the SIM is supposed to be for a phone, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So would a child use a phone?
Yes,
of course.
Children use phones.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I agree with waiting till of a certain age to get a SIM. And because they're not saying that a child cannot use a phone or cannot use a SIM, but the SIM will be registered to an adult. So I agree with that. But just the age, for me, I don't think it works because some people are already in university by age 18. So you cannot have a university student who's unable to have their own personal SIM. But I personally do not want my children to have a SIM attached to their name at this age. I think, like, with everything, a SIM card comes with, so many... It opens opportunities to a lot of things that you cannot, what's the word now, monitor. I want to be able to monitor my child's online activities, phone activities. And so I would rather have something that he can use that's connected to mine. And we understand that phones are used also for lots of, nefarious activities. We've heard how SIMs are cloned and how people will take your SIM and pretend you're someone, they pretend that you're you. So those sort of things, I think that children should be protected from that. But I feel that by 16, or instead of putting an age to it, by 16 years, you should be able to purchase your own SIM for yourself and then be able to do, because then you're an adult and whatever thing you may have done, you can be prosecuted as an adult, for that
16 or 18.
Yes.
At 16 or 18. So according to the Nigerian laws, you become an adult from 18. That's where you can be, we don't release them till like 28. That's where you can be held responsible for every action that you take. So I think I agree with the NCC because a lot of things are happening right now that we need to be able to protect our children. Things are done with SIM cards that I wouldn't think it's nice for children to have SIMs, just like Miriam said, registered under their name. So at that age, they are still supposed to be under the protection of their parents. So if they want to have their phone, it's my registration. And if anything happens, they can trace it from there. I was trying to set up a Zoom account recently for my child's school, and I put his real age into, like, it was his laptop, so I didn't want to use my own Zoom account. And I put his age and everything. And they said, told me, sorry, you can't, he's underage, you can't open his Zoom account. So we should have such, measures to ensure that people who have access to certain things are of, mature, they have that maturity to be able to handle it for everything that happens. So if you want to get a phone for your children, you can register your own SIM, give them their phone for their communication. But for them to, at their age, have different names and different SIM cards, I don't think it's...
No, that's why we are where we are. Just from the earlier topic to what we discussed now. So a child grows up using the SIM registered in the parent's name. Do they convert the SIM? So that's when they turn 18.
We change it.
No, that's clarity from NCC. Do they allow that? And what procedure and process does the child have to now go through to do that? Whereas, if our data is clear as to birth and registration, and as soon as a person is holding a phone to them, the parent who bought the phone registers it in the child's name, any tracing for the purpose of criminality that NCC is now linking SIM to NIN and all of those things is clear. So a child children did NIN registration, although I've not done for my children. I think that they should get to a certain age because there was a rush. Not that I would not have done. I had the opportunity, I would have taken them. So if they have an NIN that is linked to their SIM, linked to their name, is it not better for NCC if there's a trace
So
I think it will be some for them.
Trace is so important. Because you're talking during the break about the fact that in some states, when somebody dies, they don't release the death certificate because they bring a family member to go into the system. That's why they'll come up with all these ghost workers, people who have died long time, and their family members actually doing their jobs
salaries
because they don't have a way to track and trace that this person has passed on. So we obviously need a proper tracing mechanism to ensure for a child from birth to death, we should know where you are per time. Some people are changing dates on us and confirming themselves in various...
yeah, but also, you know, when your children are using is your phone that you borrow them. So when they finish... No, hold on now. We do business. I mean, I have plenty of phone numbers.
Because we do your bank account.
Yeah,
you can open an account.
Yeah, it's linked to me.
Yeah, it's linked to us.
It's linked to me. So if they use it...
bank account,
and anything
linked to you carries your child's name, does it not?
Yes.
Which bank account?
Which
bank account? I didn't get that.
If you open a bank account for your child, it will be linked to your name, definitely.
Yes.
So my child cannot go into the bank and open an account just for himself and withdraw money.
So
but there's clarity as to who owns what account. And in the bank, there are documents to show that as soon as the child reaches age, you attach your child's birth certificate to it. The neatness of the transition alone convinces you that, you know, NCC is sort of confused about this. Okay. Because what happens to transitioning the number to the child upon adulthood?
They may have that plan.
No, they say we should not.
We have to wrap up.
But it does not stop the adult deciding, you know what, I've just turned 16, I'm going to go and get myself my first SIM card for celebrating my SIM card collection party or something like that. It's not a big deal. Wait till you're...
So this conversation on age is something I'm going to continue talking about, especially now. I know that the Senate probably would give us a response based on what, I mean, obviously everybody's talking about is trending. So we expect that the senators would respond to this trend. I'm sure they will let us know what happened and how come this man scaled the nomination and became confirmed. But either way, we'll keep the conversation on age because it shows that many people are doing it and it's illegal. I want to stop it from becoming the Nigerian thing, the Nigerian factor. Even when the Ofuluwe was talking,
it from being the Nigerian thing.
we acted out the Nigerian factor because when Ofuluwe was speaking earlier, and we told us that there are people that actually switch our switch off. When I said, don't worry, we'll find them because that's Nigerian. Because when we find them, we know what to do because the Nigerian thing, but it's not right.
Yeah, true.
So we need to change. We need to change. Okay, let's wrap up with our comments and then we run off.
Yes. So, Dicey says, it's very common, but they do catch them and inform the person once they notice them. Dale says...
That's civil service, right?
Yes. Dale says they should fix the central system of registration for all Nigerians whereby all houses are tied to each person and where they live without putting security in place in Nigeria. Nothing will work.
Okay, that's all we can take on the show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.